Hello, hello. Good morning. Happy Sunday. I'm just finished setting up. I know there's a little bit of a delay between StreamYard and YouTube, so we're going to kind of wait for those two to connect and get everything going, and then we'll get started. Welcome, welcome. It's Carrie, So Much Glitter. Happy Sunday. Welcome. I am just trying to turn the volume down over on YouTube. I hope you are all doing well. Don't forget to grab your favorite snack, your favorite drink, and come and join me around the craft table on this cozy Sunday. We have a little bit of rain here in San Diego, so it's actually going to be kind of nice to remind me to slow down today. I only have a little bit of homework and not too much. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put my link in here. And if you're just kind of crafting along and following along and kind of up in the balcony, take your time, enjoy your Sunday, and let's kind of start crafting. I'm just going to do my regular Sunday format, and I do have a little bit of like show and tell, if you will. But just so you know, because if you want to craft along with me and you want to get out your supplies, I am going to be doing my project today based on my newest Somerset Studio magazine. So if you have this and you want to craft along, it has lots and lots of goodies in here. I've been getting the art journaling magazine for a little bit now, and then I purchased them at Barnes & Noble or Michael's, but I do have a subscription to both of them for this year, so I'm very excited about that. So if you want to get this out, that's kind of what I'll be basing my creativity on today. And then I'm just going to go ahead and start in my positive affirmation book of positive quotations. I always mispronounce it, but it's okay. So I'm going to start with this, and I chose self-acceptance today, and then I have a little bit of show and tell right off the bat because I didn't want to lose these. So anyway, I kind of just picked something that resonates with me from the past week, something maybe positive I want to take in with me to the next week if something happened. That I want to be grateful for or have a positive outlook on. I'll kind of choose that from here. But anyway, so self-acceptance is what I chose for this week. And how we feel about ourselves is more important than how others feel about us. And I thought that that was really important because I did have a bit of a rough week at work. I was going to say reek. I did reek. But that was kind of, for the lack of better terms, don't let the bastards get you down, basically. So we have that, and I think that that's very important. But then to kind of follow up with that, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. And that's by Eleanor Roosevelt. And if that isn't the truth, and I don't know what is, but that is the truth. We need to accept ourselves and feel good about ourselves, because honestly, it's more important than how the external world feels about us. So I'm just going to kind of take that into my next week. As you know, if you follow me on any of my social medias, I did go ahead and put my link tree up here. So it's in the chat. If you follow me, you know that I am a book lover. And this week was World Book Day. And the point of World Book Day is to gift your, and we're going to do the gratitude jar after I do this, because these just kind of spilled out of the book. So that's why I started here. We're going to do, if you know anything about World Book Day, what you do is you gift your reader in your life, like a friend or whoever, a book and a rose, and vice versa. They gift you one as well. Well, I have a few readers, fellow readers and book lovers at work. And so I did go through my bookshelves and I did gift a few books to a few people that I'm friendly with at work that I knew would appreciate it. And they knew what World Book Day was as well. And so then when I came back on my desk 2 days in a row, I did find some books. And I do know who they came from, but there was a bow on them. We didn't do the whole rose thing as well. We just did the book. And I've been actually waiting to read The Silent Patient. So if anybody has read it, let me know what you thought. And then this was a little note from somebody that I work with at work, obviously. And then this book, I also got this book as well. And I think she bought this brand new, which I was told her, I was like, that wasn't the point. You didn't have to do that. We're just like clearing out our bookshelves and gifting. But she says she tends to, because she doesn't have room at home, she tends to not hold on to her books. So I thought this was really nice. She thought that I had read it. So she wrote me a little note, like, what are the odds you've read this already? And then she kind of bet me, but I hadn't read this, and this is on my TBR list. So I'm very excited to have gotten that. And I'll put those aside. And then yesterday was, Independent Bookstore Day, and that was Saturday the 25th. I cannot believe we're in the last Sunday of April. Like, wow. Anyway, so me and a friend went to downtown Temecula at Old Town, and we went to In Bloom Bookery. And I know I've talked about this bookstore before, but it's a little independent bookstore that I really do like to support, and I've gone to a book signing. They have a lot of events and things like that. And so we did kind of peruse around there looking for the golden ticket that we didn't find, because then that would have been a free book. But they had lots of stickers, and I have like a junk journal, like a reading, like a book lover's junk journal kind of going on. I have 2 of them. And I'm going to be making, I found this from Gilmore Girls. I'm going to be making a Gilmore Girls journal as well from my experience. I have so many ideas and so much. It's just, it's all there. And then they had the little Indie Book Buzz sticker there. So I got that. I purchased 2 of these, one for my friend because we're sending gift packages back and forth, and then one for myself because I always kind of make a joke like, I'm booked and busy. I never have time. And then when it's a joke about I'm booked and busy because I'm like meditating at home reading. So it was just, that's what I did. And I did purchase 2 books from them. And I did pre-order, I don't think View is here, but I did pre-order a coloring book. I'm going to take a sip of my drink. I did pre-order a coloring book that comes out Tuesday, I think. So I'll probably get it by the end of the week from Thrift Books because I had a coupon and because they're an independent bookstore too. So I was like, this is the perfect time to pre-order that coloring book. And then maybe we'll do a buddy coloring coming up. That would be fun. So I did get Bourbon and Lies. This is a book that I've kind of been waiting for. It's been on my TBR for a little bit. I've never purchased the book, obviously, because I was like, I'm going to wait for it to come out on Thrift Books. I have so much else on my list. But I saw it there. Hey, View. Hey, I was just talking about you. So I did pre-order. I'll show you. I could probably look on my phone. I'll show you what I pre-ordered. So anyway, so I did get this book. It's just a really good, spicy little Western type. Western meets Hallmark meets spice. And it's about an ex-cop, and he's kind of hiding out in a town. And of course, a girl shows up. So anyway, I got that. Thrift Books didn't have it yet, so I got it. And then I purchased this because this bookstore in Bloom Bookery, downtown Temecula, has a whole psychological thriller, murder mystery, spicy romance book section. And this sounded really good. So this is basically like my true crime, the love of true crime and mysteries and psychological thrillers into like a little bit of a spicy vacation romance. So I was excited to pick that up too. So those are the 2 things I got. I'm going to do my gratitude jar, and then I'm going to show you what I got on thrift books because I pre-ordered that coloring book that you showed View, because I've been thinking about it. I wasn't going to do it because I don't need another coloring book, but I've been thinking about it, and I was like, if I'm still thinking about it a week later, I must need it, right? That's how that works. Anyway, so this week I'm grateful I really didn't lose my shit, to be honest with you. I'm just going to be frank. I kind of did lose it a little bit because it was a really rough week, but I'm glad that I was able to reel it back in. My job's getting very, very stressful, and nobody wants to do what they're supposed to do in this big transition of ours. And the weight of it seems to be on us supervisors that are in charge of running the program. Plus we have to do counseling, and it's getting to be a bit much, but I did semi lose it, and I didn't all the way lose it. So I'm grateful for boundaries this week. And that really bled into yesterday as well. Yeah, a little is okay. Yeah. I mean, I had to call my mom. My mom is here. She knows I had to call her because I really lost. But I didn't lose it all the way. I was able to reel it back in, and it just kind of helps me understand where other people are coming from as well, but people don't have to be so rude at the same time. That's where I lost it at. Just don't be rude. So I'm grateful for boundaries. And because my boundaries. I'm grateful for my boundaries because I was able to see that I was kind of losing my cool. And I said what I had to say, and then I walked away. And then I did come back, and we processed it, and I got a little bit more insight into why and what. And I just think certain people aren't meant for certain fields. And that's where I'm going to end that. I do care. Yeah, I do care. I really care about the clients. And that's why I'm getting my master's in clinical counseling. I don't necessarily know if I care about the operational aspect of it. And I'm just going to be honest, because I think a lot of it's stupid, but it's part of what it is. That's just part of what it is. And you can't have one without the other sometimes when you're billing insurances. But then I was out yesterday with a friend, and I think my son called me 4 times yesterday, wanted me to come and pick up the baby. And it was just like, I told you I couldn't do it today kind of thing. And so I was able to really put that into perspective with wow, they really need me. I need to separate time for myself and them. But I was able to set boundaries and able to give them some love and encouragement as they needed. But I stood with my boundaries. And probably 5 years ago, me would have not done that. I would have just dropped everything and ran home to take care of the baby. But they have to learn how to multitask too. So, and yeah, that's that. So I really am trying to teach my son to be a little bit more empathetic, I think. When it's not just your needs and your family's needs that are in the moment. Like, we all have things we have going on, and we're here to help each other, but not at the drop of a hat. Unless if it's an emergency, then yeah, I'm there, but it wasn't. So we were able to refocus on that too with my boundaries. Okay. Oh, I wanted to show the thrift books. Okay, so let me get out my phone. And before I go off on another little thing, let's see. Oh, and I've had this spell shop in my my cart for a while, and this was at the bookstore yesterday. My friend purchased this, so I think when she's done with it, I think I'm going to read it. So that means that'll save me money a little bit. But let me show you what I purchased. And I have to go into my account. My orders, and it's a pre-order. Let me see if it'll pop up. It should pop up. Yeah. So I did pre-order the Fantasy World coloring book, and it's not going to let me do any flip throughs. View actually has this book, and she did do a flip through on her channel. So if you're interested, you can go look at that. But I did pre-order that because I really liked it, and it's like my I love coloring, but I love the cozy coloring because I love to add elements to it. And I don't like all like the fine line details because it becomes too stressful for me. So anyway, I pre-ordered that, so I'm excited. So if you want to do a buddy coloring page, let me know. And yeah, hooray, hooray, very exciting. I'm excited. I ordered it yesterday because Thrift Books gave me a special for independent bookstore day. So anyway, that's what I did. So I got this on Friday and I took a really hot shower when I got home from work. And then I just sat down on the couch, the glass of wine, and I went through my Somerset studio that arrived on Friday. And I like the art journaling one, but this one was like a step up from that. So there's a few things I wanted to do in here today that just are going to be creating for creating, to create. But I kind of want it to be incorporated into maybe future projects or projects that I have going on, like my big soap opera pop culture yearbook thing. So I found this Slides and Stories by Susan Ioder. I don't know how to pronounce that name, and I'm probably wrong, but she created little mini collages out of these slides. And I don't have these transparency slides at all, but she does say in here you can purchase them on Etsy and whatever. But then it gives you the supplies that you'll need, and they're vintage photo slides is what they are. So but one thing I didn't know about this magazine is that it gives you art space in the magazine. Like it gave me a whole paper so I can create my own little slides on these if I wanted to. And so what I was going to do was either going to do them on this paper because I thought for some reason this paper was going to be thicker. Oh yeah, so it's while creating without limitations. Can feel freeing. It can also be overwhelming with so many options. You may not know where to start or stop. So this is basically an art journaling exercise. So for this exercise in restraint, choose just one medium: paint, ink, pencil, or collage. I chose two because I couldn't focus on one. And allow yourself to make 10 marks on the page. A mark can be a brush stroke, a line, a stamp, or a torn piece of paper. When you've made 10 marks, stop. And then what were you able to create? So what I might do is measure. I don't know if I want to use this because I don't know if this paper is going to be, this paper is thicker than the rest. We could try. We'll try, because if this paper isn't going to hold up, what I was going to do is just kind of do these squares on a different sheet of paper. But I ultimately kind of want to make like these little transparency slides. And I was thinking like washi tape for the frame. And then you're putting it like in a little slide. I didn't even look on Etsy or anywhere like that to see how much these things would be, but probably a lot. I don't know. It's Etsy, right? I've never seen them at antique stores or anything like that. So what I was going to do is I'm just going to tear this out if I can. Let's see if we can tear it out. And I was going to use this as inspiration, and I was going to do a little bit of watercolor and then probably put some collaging elements or like a picture on top right here. I'm still not too sure about this paper, but you know what? We'll give it a go. And if it doesn't work, and then I do have my matte gel medium. So if I want it to all be matte and that's how I want to collage it down, maybe that's what I'll do. Because with the transparency slides, because these will fit in a transparency slide. Like that was the thought on this technique and this exercise, because that's how I'd explained it in here. So that's what I was gonna do. So with those, you have like the acetate or you have the transparency. So yeah, I don't know how I want to do it, but I have acetate separately as well, so I can make it look like a slide and create like a border. I don't know if that's how far I'm going to get into it today. I think I'm just going to do the exercise today, and I am going to start with watercolors. I do have these I got during 2020 Pretty Excellent, I guess is what they're called. Yeah, Pretty Excellent. That's what they're called. I got this during 2020 because I was following Lindsay Wyrick really closely because I was doing a lot of watercoloring, and she's like excellent watercolorist. So these have been really good. They're a really good beginner set. I'm not like an expert watercolorist myself. And then I have Koi watercolors and neon, and I really like these. So I thought that this would be fun. And I have a bunch of elements behind me that I'll come out and grab because these are really small. So I'm limited on space. But I do have like sticker books, collage books, things like that. And we all know I have the soap opera books. So if I want to create a few of these for that project, that's what I'll be doing. So let me get out. Oh, this is glue because I have a nicer 8. So I just kind of use that for glue. So let's see. Let's just kind of get out and create. And I have this as well where you pour the water brush, you pour the water in here. I think it saturates too much though. I don't like it necessarily because I feel like I lose control with here, let's kind of move things around. I feel like I lose control with how much water will go on it. So I have just my little microfiber cloth off to the side that has a bunch of glue and whatever on it. That I can use to kind of dry off my brush. So I want to pick, let's see, we could start with the whole book thing. So I have this sticker book and then kind of pick a sticker in here and then it will pick, and then I can pick a color scheme for behind it. I really like that because of the whole reading. Oops, you can't see. I really like that because of the whole reading rainbow aspect. And then I can kind of pick any color I want to go in there. So I think that's where I may start. And that can go, that will fit in here. And then I might be able to put like some little words from magazines or something on it. So I'm just using today as like art therapy, basically. So if that bores you, I do apologize, but it's just kind of part of my creative journey. And I like to see your creative journey and I like us to inspire each other. And this gets me, this kind of stuff really gets us using our supplies. And lots of options. I had probably brought out too many options, but it's okay. So this really gets us using our supplies is what it does. So we'll see how this paper is going to take to the water. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start by kind of saturating my little square with water, and then let's see what we're doing because this is a thicker page than the rest of the magazine and it's not buckling or anything. It's taking to it really well. I don't want to oversaturate it because it is paper and it will kind of, you can see it'll be like, it is making the paper a little bit weaker. So, and it is pilling up a little bit. So I might need to get out some watercolor paper is what I'm going to do. So let me step over to I'm team art therapy as well. I actually, after I finish school, I want to become a certified art therapist and kind of dive into that because I think it really works. So let me go get the water paper. So I have a few different options. I have mixed media and I have watercolor. So I'm going to measure out these squares, or I could just do the easy way out, cut one out and trace it. I could do that too. So we'll see if I can find my little ruler. And let's see. So I get to about, and since I'm really not going to be buying, so by 2.5 by 2.5 square is what we could do. Let me start with my mixed media paper because, so I just have Canson mixed media paper. Michael's used to do the buy one, get one free a lot. And now it's more of a buy one, get one 50% off. So when they used to do buy one, get one free, I used to like stock up. So I have a lot, and yeah, get in your sticker book. I love working in little journals too. Yeah, because I'll get overwhelmed with one big project. And I don't have time necessarily to always do one big project. So I was invited back to do June-tober through Tracy's Lottie's Magic Attic. And where did my ruler go? Oh, here it is. It's clear. It throws me off. And she chose me to be one of her creators to do multiple projects from all of the designers rather than just one big project, because she knows it works better for me. And so I'm very excited about that. So I'm just going to start at 2.5 and go back. And that's just kind of how I'm going to do this, because if I'm custom making my own little slides, I think that that'll be fine. They don't need to be like, I know the magazine made them so they would be the exact size as a slide if you were to purchase a slide. So this is just how I'm going to do this. I'm going to do a few of these, hoping, even with the ruler, like I'm not straight all the time. Like I'm very special that way. So we'll just kind of map out a few of these on here, kind of get some colors going on the paper. We'll kind of saturate. This paper will take better because I see it was starting to pill up, so I didn't want to continue getting it wet because then it would ruin it. Okay, so let's just draw out a few of these elements. So my question to you guys is, have you just done any form of like art therapy? Oh, maybe I wasn't measuring that right. I mean, leave it to me. Yeah. Whatever, that's how we're doing it. And then I'll cut them out according. So anyway, have you guys done any sort of art therapy or art journaling, if you will? I don't have specifically a journal for just like art like this, which maybe in the near future I will do that. I do follow Biddy Penny a little bit, so this one's going to be a little bit smaller when I have time, because that girl's on early. But she's in a different time zone than I am, that's why. But she just started art journaling, and she's, I think, much more free about it than I am, so I'm just going to leave that as one. Okay, so we're just going to start with these. I don't know if we can get a whole nother one on here. Let's see. Yeah, let's just start right there. Okay. So anyway, so I like the art therapy. I like the art journaling. I just don't have a whole journal dedicated to art. And welcome if you, hello, happy Sunday. I see we have some new people with us. If you're up in the balcony, don't forget the snacks and your crafty supplies. And we're just kind of creating what is inspired me from my newest Somerset Studio magazine. And I am mapping out some 2.5 by 2.5, as close to 2.5 as I can get. Let's just be honest. I was going to go. Yeah, I was going the wrong way. Little boxes for some art journaling and art therapy to create faux slides is what we're going to do. And I mean, if you're on Etsy and you find the slides and you want to purchase them, like, more power to you. But I have everything that I need to make like faux slides. I have the washi tape that I could make for, and that's just kind of how I'm doing it. So it wasn't like any specific rhyme or reason. But the latest journal of Somerset Studio, I don't know, oh, my magazine's below me. And I didn't realize that this Somerset Studio had extra like art pages and journaling pages and stuff. So I think that that's really neat. But this is thicker than the rest of the magazine, but it just wasn't going to hold that water. So it might have been good with pencil or marker. But anyway, hey, Carol, welcome. So glad to have you. Happy Sunday. So what I'm going to do, because so for my love of books and celebrating World Book Day and Independent Bookstore Day yesterday, I'm starting with my just one more page, a sticker book for book lovers, which I've seen these at Barnes and Noble for $16 because that's what suggested price is. I purchased this from Thrift Books for $13, so that was nice. And what I love about Thrift Books is that that's only a $15 minimum for free shipping. So load it up with $50. Like that's really easy for me to do. So that's like when this was 13, then, you know, just buy one more thing for a few dollars. Okay. So that's going to be the rainbow. I think I want to do like a light blue. And matte, I do on the mat or this, this tin. I'll use this as well. I have a little acrylic block right in front of me, so if I need like a palette or something, I'll do that. But I tend to just do everything. If I need to clean off a spot, like, why didn't I think of that? You need to clean off the mat first, Carrie. So I'll just do like a little bit of, I'll put the blue down, and if I need to make it lighter, I will make it lighter. I'm not like a professional watercolorist by any means, so I probably do need a little acrylic block. That might be a little bit more helpful here in this scenario. But oh, I've got cat hair on my acrylic block, so that's going to be a little bit easier. Sorry, I bumped my camera. So I'm just going to kind of put a little bit here. I might mix a little bit of white in a separate spot. So if I want to lighten that up, because I don't want the background to be too blue, if you know what I mean. If you guys are looking for like a really beautiful watercolorist that can do really good art, Carol here, my quiet corner. Carol, your watercoloring is really, really good. Mine just more of like a hobby watercolorist. So anyway, so that's just what I'm going to do. Just kind of add, I'll just take up all the white now. That's fine. See how light we can get it. And oh, I'm really just like, I'm making a mess is what I'm doing basically. So I'm just going to kind of wash the background. The sticker's going to go on top of it. And this is my mixed media paper. So this isn't the strict watercolor paper. So you're going to get a little bit of buckling and a little bit of pilling, but I'm not like going to get very fussy about that because I'm using this more as like an art therapy technique, and it's going to be a little bit more abstract. So I'm just looking for basically the color scheme. Okay, let's find here so we can wash this up so we don't have it everywhere. Okay. And then let's do maybe like a few book ones would be nice. Like that's really cute. That would be on it. One more page. Okay. There's a lot in here. So I just kind of want to base my color scheme off of whatever elements I'm using. No shelf control. That's definitely me. And of course, Carol, yeah, I always am amazed at some people, like how they can just watercolor and make like little things look into a whole like cozy mystery book club. That is fun. I really like that one. So let's do that. That's going to be more neutrals. How one little simple project can turn into like a work of art, and like it seems like effortlessly, no effort, right? So that always kind of impresses me. And your landscapes are really good. I just need more time. I need more time to put into that kind of stuff. So, okay. I like to do like the whole wet on wet thing because it just flows a little bit easier and it'll look a little bit more abstract. So my next one, going out for dinner. Oh, okay. I have staycation company this whole week. How fun. So you get to be a tourist in your own town. That's always fun, right? You say dinner and it throws me off because it's only 11:30 here, but I forget you're ahead. I keep bumping the camera. I'm sorry. So what I'm going to do is just a little bit of a neutral background, and I might throw some red little splatters in there because it's a cozy mystery book club, and because the book that I purchased has a little bit of a killer vibe to it, so that's a lot of fun. I am going to do the white again because the white's going to tone everything down, and I don't want it to be too brown. Like I don't want it to be too neutral. I want it to be a little bit washed, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to pick it up from here over to here. I'm going to marry these two so it's more of a neutral. So it's more of a neutral base. And I didn't wet this, so that's fine. I'm just going to kind of wash right over it and kind of just keep coloring it. And because I want to do splatters, so it doesn't have to have like a big rhyme or reason, because it is art journaling. And this is like a form of like art therapy, and you just kind of want to get in here and play and have fun. And I will get this a little bit more wet. So we don't need smooth. Not everything needs to be smooth and covered perfectly. We just kind of want something in the background. And again, I don't really like using those water brushes that hold the water because I feel like you have a lack of control with the water. Everything gets too wet. And I know I'm getting this pretty wet, so that may not make sense, but the water keeps coming out sometimes and I can't control when to stop it as well. So it gets a little bit frustrating. It gets things too wet for me. So I'll just kind of, I have my little water jar off to the side, and I'll take a sip. Now, do you guys, so that's gonna, I'm just laying the color down first. And now what I'm gonna do, because I know I do want to do like a few fun little spooky ones. I don't know if you can hear that. I think my cat has locked herself in the closet. The other side is open, so she's like freaking out. I do have a little few spooky fun little thumbnails, so I want to do like a little bit of a halfway to Halloween thing. I am really just bumping the camera today, so my apologies. I should have put it up a little bit higher, I think. But so I think I have my magnets sticking here. My black is down here because we have the whole blue family here. I'm just gonna do like a really black, and then I'm gonna add a lot of white is what I'm gonna do. So I'm really just gonna kind of wash it down. So that'll be the background for that, or we could do gray, so we could almost make it like a gray, right? We just want to keep putting the white in here. But do you guys have like subscriptions to any magazines or any art subscriptions or anything like that, and you get inspired from them, and then you'll create a project out of them? Like I like to do that. That's why I do the subscription of the art journaling and the Somerset Studio magazine. Oh, bye. Enjoy lunch. I know I think I'm on in the middle of the day for some people, but that's okay. I actually had time this morning I made breakfast, which I normally don't ever make breakfast on Sunday morning just because I'm not hungry, but I had time. My cat's digging in the paper now. She really thinks she's locked in that closet. I had time to make myself a little bit of breakfast because I need to eat more protein. I haven't been eating enough protein. So says my hairdresser yesterday because of my hair. So, and the whole, going through menopause and stuff, everything changes. So I made breakfast this morning. I had time to read a few chapters of my book, and I'm still reading The Mad Wife. And I really was going to give up on it. Let's just be honest. But there's a whole part 2 to this book, which I didn't know that. So I went into part 2, and now it's getting good. But why did you need to wait 240 pages, Miss Megan Church, author, to get to where we needed to get to, what the whole psychological thriller part was going to be based on? Like, people give up by then, because I've been seeing people's reviews of it, like on TikTok and Instagram and things like that, and just in the book community. People are not liking it because it's so slow. But it's now I'm getting to the point where I don't think it's slow anymore. I think we're getting to where it meant to be. It was meant to be, like what the whole, everything was just a setup for us before. So now we're confused. What's reality? What was she, what was her distorted reality versus what's real reality? I think so. We're meant to be confused along with the character, which, you know, that's fine too. But, and there's disclaimers at the top of the book about trigger warnings and if you need to take a step away and things like that. So I haven't gotten to that part yet, but that'll be interesting. So I had time to do all of that this morning, so I was very excited. Okay. So I already watched that. Oh, so I didn't need to do what I just did, but I did it anyway. And I'm just going to be, this is the background, and we can just do, I think I have some eyeballs or something in here to do something like fun and creepy or real abstract. Like, you know, sometimes it is done in collaging. So once I get the color down on these squares, I'm going to kind of start looking through elements, and then hopefully this can dry. I can turn on a fan next to me too. Okay, so we've done pretty neutral colors so far. I think I want to do like a yellow, because then, let me get my bigger brush. That can be pretty neutral as well. It could be bright, it could be like whatever. And again, this Somerset Studio magazine had these all mapped out here for us. So if you want to do it in that, but then I started putting water, because I chose watercolor. I started putting water down, and I realized that paper couldn't take the water very easily. So I went and got my mixed media paper, and I do have just a little block off to the side of me. Like, I don't think you can see it. I think that's out of view, and that's probably boring for you. So I'm sorry. But I do have this, so you can kind of see how I'm mixing it. Not that I'm an expert. I'm really not an expert, but I do like to do a fair amount of watercoloring sometimes. I have a lot of stamps because I used to incorporate only stamping into my card making. And so I have a lot of stamps that can be watercolored, like a lot of big bold stamps. I got hair on that, so I'm going to take it off. So I used to do a lot of stamping and embossing, and then paint around, you know, paint my stamps in. I used to do a lot of that. And I always chose watercolor for that, because I felt like I got a more authentic artsy look out of it. And I was able to, without these water brushes, I was able to get a little bit more control down on the paper. So, and then you can blot it however you want. I got a little piece of hair. I think it's from my brush. Just push it off to the side. Not that big of a deal, but sometimes my brushes, they're just Hobby Lobby brushes. Sometimes they will. Okay, so I could use this too. We could just kind of play around while this is going to be off drying. I do need to turn on the fan though. I'm going to do that. And that'll probably just be dry then within a few minutes. So we could pick a few elements, and we could try, because the directions over here, just for an art, this is where my inspiration came from, Somerset Studio. So the directions from here would be all as I'm doing, it's just like a little exercise basically. So I do want to create my own little slide because I'm probably not going to be purchasing these slides on Etsy. And then I like thought the outside could be washi tape and the inside could be fun little elements or whatever. But what the whole thing was just creating without limitations, but that can be overwhelming. So all we're going to do is make 10 marks on the paper and then stop. So I'm using this more as like an art therapy exercise because I think sometimes we forget that we don't have to create like a full project all the time. I have these Stabilo pencils. These are brand new. I've never opened them. I purchased them a few weeks ago. And I think these are actually water reactive as well, but these are really good for just adding elements to your artwork and any scribbles and things like that. So what we can do is we can add some fun scribbles. We can add like whatever we want. So this is what I discovered, that paper is not going to take the water very well. So I could just really, it's going to look very, very juvenile, but we're just like putting marks down basically, because then you can collage over it. And this is just going to be part of the you know, the whole picture here, if you will, if that makes sense. I'm losing my words is what it is. You know why? Because it's Sunday and I don't have to think. Although I do have to do an advertisement for anti-anxiety medication after this. I have to record an advertisement. So I need to start like getting my brain going because that's part of what I need to do. And it's just the benefits of anti-anxiety medication. It's not like pushing generally one medication over the other. Okay. So then we can just kind of put a bunch of different elements down. We can put things on top of it. We could do splatters. We could do whatever we want. So this is where this would be kind of fun to go through a sticker book. And I have the oddities and curiosities here. I have the whole set except for National Park and Monuments just came out. And so I might peruse around and gather that. They're $12, sometimes $9, depending on the sale, I guess, if Barnes & Noble is having a sale or not. But so there's a lot of different fun, weird elements and oddities and curiosities, and I like it, and I like the sayings on it, and we could just do some real fun and funky stuff here while we're waiting for that to dry. And or I could cut out some collage elements is what we could do. But I think I want to peruse through here a little bit and see. Oh, we have different stones. That's really neat. I thought those were stickers. Okay, so those aren't stickers, but that's really neat. Crystal energy, and it says what they're used for. So if you guys are into that sort of thing, these books have like a lot of fun and funky information. Okay, let's get to, like, these are fun because it's just a square within a square, and then we can kind of dance around that, right? So I kind of like that, but I want to put something behind it. I do like the eyeball because then we can add some color and we can add some interest to the eyeball, right? Okay, so that's what we could do. Depending on, the eyeball could just come right on here, but maybe I want to put some color down in the back. Now this doesn't take water very well, and I like the way that watercolor kind of smooths out, but working around that and me not knowing these very well, let's try this. Let's just break into our supplies and try some new fun and funky things. So I'm going to just put this down over here. I'm going to have to end up gluing it. So my sticker is just going to be stuck to my acrylic block. We're trying to give myself a little bit of space. Let's set the watercolors aside just for now. And we bring out the soft pastels. I haven't used these a whole lot, but I was very excited to add this into my creating. Now I kind of just want to put this down as a background color. So I want to keep everything pretty muted, if you will. I might just try, and then we can smooth it out like that. We could do that. That might be too dark even. I'm not a big, and I did purchase, I have to look and see if I even got them in. Because I did purchase something else too that I could use. Because soft pastels, it might be able to be used with water actually. I think these are water reactive. Hold on. Like, these are more for coloring though. And we want like a whole chalky look. Hello, hello, Belinda. Welcome. We're just doing some like fun and funky art journaling. Okay. I don't know. You know what? I don't know if these are water reactive. So I'm just going to use it like that. So what I'm going to do is just use this as like a background. And then I'm going to rub my finger on it is what I'm going to do, because I do have the Neo whatever. And I think as soon as I got them, I put them away because I was like, oh, I don't have time to like do that right now. So I don't know where they are at this moment, but I do have the other ones that I know are water reactive. So I don't always trust the whole sticker stick. So I do put my own little, I put my glue on it. I use my PVA glue, right? Okay. I don't care if it's straight. This is just part of the fun and funky of it, right? And then it's smearing. I don't mind. I don't care if it's smearing. Okay, what I do want to do though is I do want to add some color to the eyeball. I'm glad I put glue on the back of it, because what happens is, because I treated this little square, it's not going to necessarily stick perfectly. So I have my neons. So I could do neon, or I could just do some fun and bright color. So we could do that. I think I want to do like a fun blue is what I want to do. So I'm going to add a little bit more, and I still probably had color on this brush, but I'm just going to add a little bit more. We're going to reactivate this. And then hopefully we get more of a pure color. We could, this is me very bravely thinking I can do this. Just line like the inside of the lid with the blue. And then I can water it down just a little bit more. And just kind of make some of the highlights, or the rays, or whatever these lines are. We can kind of make some of those blue just a little bit. So it just kind of adds to that. And if we want to get really freaky with it, we could. Because all we're doing is we're adding these elements to like a bigger project. So now if you are a Supernatural fan, if you're a Charmed fan, you know, the Yellow-Eyed Demon, but really I'm going to blot that off because that's a lot. But we could just give it like a little bit more fun and funky color like that. It may look freaky, but I'm okay with that. And I'm okay with blotting it off as well. Or we could leave it to kind of sit on top and dry that way. Now, what we could do is we could cut out a few different words from said book that we got this from, because there's quotes in here. And the quotes tend to be on the back of a sticker page. So I'm not, creativity takes courage. So I do like that. But then what's on the back here? I'm not like the biggest like into the birds or whatever, but what I could do is I could just hand write it, and I could use my Pandafly gel pens and do in a silver, because we already have the element of the neutrals covered. So we could do this in a silver. So my handwriting isn't like perfectly neat, but you know what? Nobody's perfect. Takes courage. And we can just kind of like leave it there. I'm going to add in a few dot, not a lot, because why not? And so now we basically have the first one done. And then this will get added to like a bigger project. I can cut this out and put it in my idea journal. But that's the thought of that. So let me get these that I did make. And I I outlined these on whatever. I'm like losing words. I outlined these on mixed media paper. So I know I always come to you with like a fuller project or an idea of a fuller project, and we kind of go from there and do that. But I thought today would be fun to get inspiration from my Somerset Studio magazine and create something that's a little bit less complete that can be a part of something that's going to be complete, right? So that was my idea. And because it was like a big week for like the book lovers, because we had a World Book Day and then we had Independence Bookstore Day yesterday. And so we had all that. The blue was my idea for this. So I always like putting down extra elements, maybe a quote here or there. I am going to lay this down, and I'm going to lay this down here because any extra elements are going to go up on top. I'm going to glue this down. If you guys have like a collage book, or if you have a magazine, I've been picking up magazines here and there, like my used bookstore and things like that. And that's really good for little different elements. And then honestly, like if you're a card maker like I am, it's really fun to create like these fun collage cards. Now, I haven't thought ahead if I want to put like a fixative or something on it after this is done. I could, but what I am going to do is I am going to do what the book suggests. And they're putting it inside of a slide here like this. So this gives you the whole, the supply list and all of that. And this project is from Susan Ioder. But I'm not going to be purchasing the slides or doing anything. I'm going to be making my own, and I have some acetate, so I'll be doing that with. Anyway, it's just something a little bit different and fun. And so I thought like we could do like little rays of things if we want. And I am going to get some of my, I'm going to move certain things out of the way to get to other things is what I'm going to do, because I have a pile of books next to me. So I'm trying to make up for all of my lack of space at the moment. I thought that the neon would be a lot of fun. Okay. So I'll just get my brush from over here. I don't know. This is a 2, and then this is a 4. So I'm going to stick with the 2 right here for this. And then we could look over in my embellishments. I'm probably going to put like a quote here or there on it. And I'm going to stick with the neon yellow at this point. And I'm probably not going to put it over here on my my little acrylic block palette, because I'm not going to be mixing it or watering it down. I'm just going to be probably using it in its more pure form of color. And we'll just do a little bit of raise here and there. So I hope you all had a fabulous week. And it's just not going to be any rhyme, reason, or anything whatsoever. Just how you think that you would want to put it, right? Anyway, I hope you guys all had a really good week. I hope you're having a really good self-care Sunday. And thank you for joining me. I'm really glad you guys are here. I enjoy spending time with you guys and watching you guys create. And I enjoy you guys coming over here and spending time with me as well. It's a lot of fun. Let's kind of mix in like this pink. And then we'll go look up a quote. That's a really bright pink. If you can see, it's like straight back to the 80s. I love it. Okay. There we go. Not that like we need to go, you know, right back in time, because, you know, my life's a little bit more fulfilled now, but the price of gas sure would be nice from the 80s. So, Belinda, let me show you. I'm going to get my other books out of the way. This is one I just received on Friday in my mailbox. And this is the May, June, and July, because they do it quarterly. So this is the May, June, and July Somerset Studio magazine. So it's probably already out at your Barnes & Noble or Michael's or wherever you purchase magazines. But I have a subscription to it. And then I received this. And then I have the art journal one too, but I really like this one because it's a lot more mixed media. Ironically, it gives you more mixed media space within this magazine. So I thought that that was really neat because that's where I got these papers from. And yeah, I just kind of like, my idea kind of came from there. Okay. I did want to do another book one, and I wanted to do some, and you don't have to do like stickers or whatever. You could do what you wanted. The Cozy Mystery Book Club. I love cozy mystery books. I think that they're a lot of fun. And I do, though, want to add my Stabilo to it. And I think my black might be a little bit too harsh. So I'm going to do the silver. And these are water reactive, so I could get some fun. I could just do some fun, like, little squiggly designs or whatever, and I could kind of wash them out if that's what I wanted to do. Oh, did they not tell you ahead of time, Belinda, before your subscription expires? I would assume they would. That'd be disappointing if they don't, because I really do like getting this magazine, and I would want to know. It's kind of a thing like you have to plan ahead, because the subscriptions are really expensive. But they were having a sale at Christmas time, New Year's time, and I was just like, let's do it. So it let me do like a payment plan for like a little bit. Okay. I also love the art journaling magazine and the art quilting. Oh, art quilting. They have an art quilting magazine? I do the art journaling and Somerset Studio magazine. I really do like that. So I'm just going to do some fun, weird little swirls here. And I'll kind of just see if we can smear it around a little bit, which I don't know if we're going to be able to. Kind of smudge it up a little bit. Now I'm just taking it off, so. But you know what? We don't know till we do it, basically. And that just kind of gives it like just a weird little vibe. Okay. I'm going to put glue on the back of these stickers because we've treated the background of where we're sticking it, and it's not going to stick. And I don't always trust the stick in these stickers that we get from sticker books. And I'm just going to put this right in the middle. I'm going to do some red splatters because I love some cozy mysteries. So I'm going to have to cover this up. This is what I'm going to do. Let me get some red going. And I'm just going to do like little splatters, so it's not going to be, and I'll probably do like a darker shade, and then we'll get it a little bit wet so it'll splatter off. Oops. You might need a little bit more red. A little bit more. And just kind of splatter it like that. I'm going to wipe off what is on the sticker because that's not really going to stick. But splatters are always fun. I'm a big, like, just add a splatter here or there if, you know. When in doubt, add some fun splatters. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, that's going to smear. I'm fine with that. Actually, it's not that big of a deal. It kind of covers up that white space a little bit too. And then we're like, what kind of mystery is that? Who knows? Who knows? Okay. So these are just something a little bit fun and funky that I wanted to get a quote for that you could incorporate into your card making, into your journaling, into your art. I have these big talk snarky sentiments, which we don't need anything big. I think that's going to be too big. We have the clippings sticker book from Tim Holtz. I do like the sayings. I could probably make my own sayings because I have a little, let's see. I have a little, I had it, little retro little label maker. So we could do something like that. I think what I'm going to do for the purpose of this though is just something really small, and you know, I don't know, it would depend on like what do we want it to say? I don't know. But I like something like this because this could go in a fun little element for my my book journal. And then what I can do, this isn't going to dry probably today, but I could I have a little acetate I could put over it as a slide, and then what we can do is create like a border to make it look like a little slide. Happy in Her Heart, book number 3. So not everything needs to, I Dream of Going Back, book number 3. Okay, so I'm just going to do something fun like that. Not everything needs to, like, it doesn't have to be a complete sentence. It doesn't have to be a complete thought or whatever. This is just could be a fun and funky element that you're putting in something else, and the thought maybe is in that something else. Okay. So I'm going to put this right there. And then I know this isn't going to dry, so I can put the acetate over it during this little session. And I'll just take it off. And then we're going to add a little bit of a different angle of words here. Okay. So I Dream of Going Back, book number 3, A Record to Leave Behind. And that's just a fun embellishing element that you can put in here if we wanted to get fun with it. I was going to say I could add some here. We can get out as I'm bumping into everything. But we can get out some little you know, little dots. We could do that. Can kind of hype up the bright colors a little bit more. Stars, I think, would be a little bit fun to add in there. I think I'm going to add some stars in there. I used to be a part of the Stamps of Life, the Gold Club, and it's a card making kit club, a Die Hard club, and what else was it? I forget. I did that for quite a few years, and so I have acquired quite a lot of embellishments because they used to always come with the fun stuff, like a whole card making kit. I think probably in the near future, I still have complete card kits that I haven't like made cards out of. We could pull some of those out and like play with like old card kits, right? Okay. So just going to put the glue where I want it. I think, or I did have a little tweezers. So my big fumbly fingers don't misplace them. And just kind of put different, not everything needs to be the same color. We do know red and green go together on the coloring wheel because Christmas says so. But they are on the coloring wheel as complementary colors. So that's kind of fun. Just put some different colored elements in here. You could even put this on a card front if that's what you wanted to do. And my whole idea was to make this like look like a slide, right? So I'm probably going to go back and do that as well. And I'll probably film a video about doing that. This is going to go in one of my journals. Anyway, so those are just some fun ideas. Now I wanted to, and then this is just like a real simple one. And so if you want to follow like the art prompts in these magazines and just play, I highly recommend that you do that because I probably will complete these. I won't leave those like that. I did have some of these little thumbnails and I wanted to do a little bit of June-tober prepped because June-tober is coming up. And I wanted to use some of these thumbnails. Now, these are from Sweet Pea Curiosities. Oh, exciting, Belinda. Let me know and we can create together. How fun. Welcome for those that are up in the balcony. I'm so glad to have you here today. So these are from Sweet Pea Curiosities and these are from bigger kits. And so these are a bunch of kits put into one and they're little thumbnails. And I thought that these would be fun for my little Somerset Studio inspired little slides. I thought that that would be fun. And we could put more mysterious elements like in the back is what I was thinking, but I kind of just want to leave it as this because I was also thinking I could pick something out of here and then it's just basically like collaging it together, or I have some Tim Holtz people or elements. Like we have some really funky elements here that could go, which I might want to use some of this to go with that right here because I think that that would be fun. Like some of these get real, like it just depends if you want cutesy, if you want fun and funky. Let's see. I always like the whole eyeball aspect because that can go and like, you know, grunge, it can go in creepy, it can go in like wherever you want it to go in, basically. So this is just going to be like a June-tober inspired little slide. where a bunch of like little fun collage elements are going to go together. And not everything has to be so uniform all the time, right? I think we get stuck in that rut that everything needs to be so uniform and everything needs to look and be so completed and finished, and where that's just not so. Okay, so I am going to pick a few of these out. I'm looking at more of the top few rows. And let me just cut this down. I have a lady right here that I've been eyeballing. I'm going to cut her down. And then let's see if we can, let me get out my cutter beads, because sometimes we just need something a little bit smaller. And then we'll cut that right there. Okay. So she could go in there. Oops, upside down. She could go in there upside down. Like that would be fine too. I will try to zoom in a little bit. No, my camera's going to let me zoom in, honestly. I don't think that worked. Sorry. Like, I don't think that worked. Because my app won't let me physically zoom in when I'm in StreamYard. So I have to figure out that. So I try to physically like zoom in. Okay. And then what we'll do is, I thought it would be nice to, we'll add, I think I want to add like 3 of these little things. Upside down. I keep wanting to put it all upside down, don't I? And we have like that little one, but I'm kind of sticking with like the whole little witchy theme right now, or the fairy theme. So I want to do her at the end. And just kind of put, let's see, we can kind of post them how we want. Trying to make them less uniform looking, therefore I'm making them uniform looking, if that makes any sense. We can even overlap up here, like that might be what it needs. Kind of overlap it right there. And I could do some splatters to make it like a little bit, make it pop a little bit more. Yeah, so when I try to be a little bit more like, oh, let's just make it look like it just sat here, sat there, I tend to run into a, it ends up looking like organized, more organized is what it is. So his eyeball is like blue to me. It looks green down there, but when I really pull it up, it kind of looks blue. I'm going to do some blue splatters, and what I'm going to do, and I don't mind the splatters being over him, like that's not that big of a deal. I am going to get my little water that I have next to me, and I'm just going to kind of reactivate what I put here on like this little palette. And I'm probably just going to end up mixing all of these blues together to get as much blue up here as I can, and then kind of splatter from that way. That's my idea. I probably don't have the right brush for splattering too right now, just so we're aware. I do know what's going on. Okay, there we go. I was gonna, that's a good idea. I was thinking about like putting, I was just thinking in my head, Belinda, thank you for saying that, because I was just thinking in my head, like I could go get some embroidery floss and like connect them, but outlining them is actually probably going to be a better idea. And I'm going to get my Poscas for that, because perfect. Perfect, Belinda. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry for just a second. Let me go reach for my Poscas, which they were on my desk, and I believe they are not now. Okay, I found what I was talking about earlier, though. The Inktense blocks. I did purchase these and I put them away as soon as they came in. I don't know why. Normally I keep something on my desk for a while to know to play with it. So I put them with all my other colors like right away. So I have the Inktense blocks, and these are watercolor ink blocks, and these look like the soft pastels in a block, but you could just pick up color and like drop it onto a project from the block. And they have like, I've never even opened them. They're like a beautiful, beautiful color. I've seen Carol from My Quiet Corner play with them before. I've seen quite a few artists play with them, and I love what they get. Okay, so I'm going to kind of let that one sit for just a second, and I'm going to get into these other two. But I have my Poscas out, so I'm going to outline them. And let's get into maybe a collage book. I have my paper vintage retro collection here. That would be kind of fun. I don't know if anything in here is small enough, but there's probably elements here that are small enough. This isn't from this. This is from Sweet Pea Curiosities, but I'm kind of thinking of cutting out those ladies in front of that TV. We can make like a little bit of a fun scene. Let's see. Oh, we have stickers. I could cut a sticker in half and kind of put one half here, one half there. Let's kind of play that way. I love these paper books. You know what, Belinda? Thank you for expressing what you were thinking, though, because it really helped me with my process. And I think that as creators and onlookers that like to be inspired, I think it's fun to inspire each other, and it's okay to say what we're thinking. We're not like harming anybody, or I know it gets like kind of intimidating. I'm going to set this off to the side so it can dry a little bit faster. Because I have my fan on, and it's not as dry here today as it normally is because I've had a little bit of rain. So, but I thank you for telling me what you were thinking, because it helped me. And I think that's a big part of the crafting community. Like, we're here to empower each other and inspire each other and learn from each other and all of that goodness. Okay, so my idea was to put these ladies, I need to cut off some of this extra stuff I got going on though, is kind of cut out these ladies to make them look a little bit more like 3D, if you will, looking, to make them stick out a little bit more in the picture. And my idea, because I saw that TV, was to use the yellow and kind of make it look like they were, like, what are they watching? Are they watching the TV, or are they watching the scenery? Because now we want to make a little bit of a scene out of them. Oh, I do understand that, Belinda. I mean, I'm not quiet. I don't think my mom is here today, but she would tell you I'm not quiet. I am very outspoken, but sometimes I do understand the, not wanting to draw attention and things like that. So I do understand that. Okay, I want to use a little bit more of these elements, but if you have something to say and it's just you think people don't want to hear you, that's not true. I don't think that's true. And I think it's really important for us as women in 2026 to empower other women too, because it's okay for us to have thoughts, feelings, emotions that don't agree with everyone else's. We have valuable things to contribute, and that's just look at the women historically in society. Um, there's a lot of powerful women in society that have taught us that people have, we have important things to say and do, and we're going to do them. And it's okay to say them along the way. So don't ever feel bad for, I like to make this just like a fun little safe space, and don't ever feel bad for like having like a different suggestion than how I'm doing it, because, I could use ideas too. I like this succulent. So this is a kit from Sweet Pea Curiosities. It's a digital, it's a printable kit. I honestly do not remember what it's called, but it's a very retro, like 1950s Palm Springs type kit. I really, really like it. And I put it in my paper retro collection because I like to put like things with like things, rather than like a designer with a designer, just because of how I free flow create sometimes. And when I'm pulling things out, it'll help give me ideas. If I'm doing like, oh, I'm doing a retro project, and oh, here's all of my retro stuff. It just kind of falls fun. It's funsy that way. Okay, so let's see if that is dry to where I can at least pull it over here. So it's going to take a little bit for this to dry off. I could like blot it off too if I want. So to kind of cover up the ladies, just a little bit. I don't want to do that because then that's like they're watching the trees. I'm just thinking I like these, and I like these up here, but that's where the whole outlining thing could go in again, right? Because they're watching something clearly. We just like don't know. But what I could do is I could add like a little bit of like blue or something like that as well, and kind of put them down, and glue them down that way. And then we'll put like a fun little saying with the ladies. And so let's get the succulent down at least right here. And then we're going to stick the ladies behind the succulent. I thought I cut myself. I was like, oh goodness, I cut myself. No, it's the red splatter paint. Oh goodness. So all I'm doing with this project is encouraging you guys to like use what's in your stash, think outside of the box. And it's fun to get inspired from the things that we've purchased. And not everything is going to go, not everything has to go together like in one complete project manner. It's okay for it to piece together. And so I just kind of want to inspire you to do that. Okay, so I think I could have, now I think about it, I could have just left this whole palm tree here rather than it just floating, right? I got that. I could have done that. But that would be too much, I think, in this little slide that I'm creating. Now the magazine does tell you just to pick like 1 or 2 elements and stick with that. And of course, pick like 3 and 4. So I made it more complicated really than it needed to be. I might get rid of these 2 as well. I don't know. I don't know. I was going to be looking for some like words, but let's go back to the ideology. We can kind of piece together whatever we want here. She Dreamed Beautiful Dreams. That would be a good one. Lucky Woman. Life is Full of Beauty. Okay, let's do that. Oops, my apologies. Life is Full of Beauty. I love these little Tim Holtz things. It so disappoints me every time I go. I've been going to Hobby Lobby less and less lately just because it's really just like has become less of a hobby store and more of like a home decorating store, which they have like fine. I don't mind. I do buy that stuff. But they don't have all this Tim Holtz stuff, and even Michaels has really downsized that. So this kind of stuff, like I find online, I find on Amazon or Ranger, you know, those places. But I really like the sentiments that he has. And that's kind of where I want to leave that, because I do want to outline those as well, or I could outline the ladies. Like, I don't really know, because I think it needs a little bit of blue in there for some reason. That's what I feel like. I feel like I've also lost my pastas. And I know they're right next to me. And they are. So I didn't lose them. I set them right next to me. Because this is dry for those ladies as well to go down. So you just like the idea. Yeah, oh, thank you. It is my vision. Exactly my thoughts about both Hobby Lobby and Michaels. Yeah, I mean, I love Michaels. Don't get me wrong. I'm never going to stop shopping there. But because they do have art supplies, like it is more art supply. But Hobby Lobby, like, has become more, yeah, home decorative type stuff. Okay. So I hope I shook that up enough. I'm just going to kind of test it right here. Oh, I forgot. I have these Poscas are like fine. I maybe didn't shake it up enough. Oh, here it comes. These Poscas have like a fine tip. I like to test things out like on these little guest check things, because then, oh, you can't see me. I'm sorry. Wow. That was really rude of me. That's probably why everybody left. Like, can't see, lady. That's okay. I like to do a lot of testing of my colors on these little fun guest checks, because I just save them and use them for later. Okay, so here we go. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to dot, kind of like stitching, but it's not going to be even like my sewing machine would be. And that's just going to add the pop of color. And because I live beneath the open sky is kind of where we're going with this, I think I am going to add some embellishments, and I have like the faux like the enamel dots and stuff like that, like the rhinestones, for lack of a better word. I know there's a word for it, but anyway, so this is just, so these are just fun little things to add to bigger projects. I have a tin that I keep all my ATCs in, so I'm going to cut these out and probably put these in there. But I think I do want to stick with the original thought of putting some acetate over them and putting, making like a washi tape, making like a washi tape border. So I did get these for Christmas. I'm just now like diving into really using them a lot more, because I'm getting into more collage-y, like fun art stuff. I really, really like them. And these have a wider tip, like a more of a like a wide pencil tip, kind of like my Stabilos. And I purchased these at Target for like $10. They were on some sort of weird clearance, but I go back and they're full price now. Okay, so now we're gonna put the ladies back in here and probably outline them. I'm going to glue these gals down. And I don't know if we necessarily need like a saying on everything because it could just be art. So my idea was to kind of faux stitch them together or get out some string and stitch them together. But then I really like, Belinda, I really like your idea of outlining them. So I think I'll do that. And I'm gonna glue this down. It's going to have extra glue a little bit and an extra little bit of pressure because this paper's been treated. So it's not just gonna glue down like it would on naked paper. What size does the box state? Let me look in the article. I did a 2.5 by 2.5 square because I don't work very great in really small spaces because I have big ideas for small spaces. This is what it gave you. It gives you 2 pages of this that will fit in a slide is what it said. So I measured it. It was like a 2.5 by 2.5. Now I'm not like an expert measurist, so let's not like, because it's not directly at the, it's actually less than that. But I did 2.5 by 2.5 because I wanted a space and I'm just going to make them faux. So there's that. Oh, the box Posca, sorry. 0.7. This is PC 1M, but 0.7 would be millimeter, is my assumption. And these are 1.8 to 2.5 millimeters. So these are thicker. And then it's more of like what my Stabilos are like, but my Stabilos are thicker, but it's more of that kind of a thing. Okay. So let's get out the gold. I've used the gold before. Gold oro. I guess it's a different language. Yeah. Okay, 5. Okay. Oh, yeah, right there. Duh. I'm sorry. 1 and 5. Yes. And I like the 1 size because I can get the fine details in there, but I really like this for, it kind of gives you like a little bit of a wider area. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to outline these ladies to make them look framed. And this is kind of what I did on my soap opera yearbook journal last week. If you guys were here, I did the cover, and then I was on Christina's channel and I did the back cover as well last Tuesday. If you want to go on Christina's channel and follow that, she does Tuesday lives. And I'm going to outline the eyeball too, but I'm going to outline the eyeball in something different just to give it kind of a different little bit of look. The individual pens state their size. Oh, they do, don't they? They probably sell these individually somewhere. I don't know where, but I'm pretty sure they probably do. Okay, so I was thinking silver, but now I'm thinking, let me go back to the blue because I did the blue splatter to kind of play up his blue or green eyes. And I'm going to outline in blue. One MR. Is that the M is the millimeter? Is that what I'm thinking? Or is that in a different? Could be. Okay. So let me make sure that it flows out. I think once I've started, it's good. Some of these I haven't. Sometimes you can get them individually at Michael's. Oh, okay. So then that's why you would want to know that. I didn't know that you could get them individually. But see, that's where Michael's is still like a hobby store. Like they're still for the creator. They still have all of those fun things. Okay, so what I'm going to do also is I'm going to outline the inside like the eyelid too. Just to kind of give it like a fun and funky little experience right there. Now I could use the silver or just some extra dotting. The M is millimeter. Oh, okay, I always think MM is millimeter for some reason. I don't. We know why I'm not a mathematician now, okay? I'm good at the words. I'm just going to kind of add this because it's just going to add a layer. And I'm going to try not to cover up the blue. So this just adds like an extra layer right there. So I'm going to make the last one because I don't want to leave the page incomplete. So I did the 2 book ones for World Book Day, and then Independent Bookstore Saturday was yesterday. So I did the 2 book ones for that. I'm doing like a fun little introduction into June-tober that I'll be taking part of. And then I wanted to do fun, just in general one. So let's also see what else we can come up with from my stash here. And then I did this one while we were waiting for it to dry. I'm probably just going to, honestly, this wants to keep pulling up, which is really weird. I didn't put glue on the end. See, once a paper's been treated, we have to like put extra glue on them. And then these are just going to be the ones that are going to fit in the slides. Mine are a lot bigger, but this is just an inspired project, so it's not that. It's just not that serious anyway. Okay, what sticker book did I not get out today? I did not get out my Forest Fairies, Mushrooms, and Goblins is what I didn't get out. Or also my other idea was to do another retro one, but I think I'm going to stick with the Forest Fairies so I could finish telling you my idea, which I might do over here, was cut one of these stickers in half and put like a half of a sticker on one and a half of a sticker on another. And so I might do that in here and then create a bunch of these little things. And I'm going to get out my Society of Idea journal. I'm just going to put it my idea journal or something is what I'm going to name it, and kind of put that in there so I could finish with that idea. But I love this project. I just think it is so much fun, and I think it's so versatile. And really, you know, get out your stash and start to play is basically all it is. Okay, so we have this. I think you're right, Belinda. The big M is for millimeter. It's like tablespoon and teaspoon, but for some reason my brain goes to MM as millimeter. I probably didn't pass that in math when I was younger. Let's just be honest. That's probably why I'm thinking it wrong. I did have a math tutor in elementary school, so there's that. Okay. I decided against these, so that's fine. No worries, no worries. I eventually, because I have a whole paper fairy magic one, so I eventually want to do a fairy journal, which needs to go in my Society of Ideas journal. But the fairies can be as creepy or as fun as we want. We kind of, the mushroom stamps, excuse me. I do like that. I really like these fairies over here too. I like her because she's real artsy. She looks like she's a piece of art, but she's highlighted at the same time. The fairies are kind of dancing under the moon with the mushroom on them. I like that. I do like that. So let me take that one. And then reason number 101 of why I love this Ranger art mat is because I could just put stuff down on it and it doesn't permanently stick to it. So let me go to the mushrooms. I also have a Goblin Core coloring book that I really like. And so I bought that so I could do artwork in there. And I've used it a few times. Oh, there's a big picture of the little one that I want to use. So you could caption this kind of what you want them to say. So we could do a fun little caption with that. That's a good idea. I want to get some mushrooms though. But my idea was to do some Goblin Core art and put it in my little fairy journal is what I do like that. I think I want to get some colorful mushrooms. That, for example, love it. And we're just going to kind of stick these down. And let's get like a little, if we have like little, oh, I colored him. I did color him. That's funny because he's in my, my Goblin Core coloring book, but I did buy that from Michael's too. So it could be the same. It could be the same. Who knows? Okay. So I always like to add some, this one is talking to me. Okay, let's do that. I don't mind keeping the, and then I have stuff like this that is in here. So it's a floral arranging book that my daughter picked up for me for free at the bookstore that they were getting like a box before they throw it away. So I have stuff like that in there that I use for card making and all of that kind of fun stuff. Okay, I don't mind using, I might have to cut these back a little bit though, but I don't mind the, I think I'm going to put, these are just going to be kind of in the background, so I don't need to do that. But what I was going to say is I don't mind the border being around it. I know we all see each other over at Dee Dee's and stuff like that. And she likes to cut the border off and then put the sticker on cardstock and make it more stable that way. I do like doing the cardstock. I don't mind the border necessarily sometimes, but for the purpose of this, I'm not going to bulk it up anymore because, oh, I was like, I lost my microfiber cloth that's on my lap. Yeah. I don't mind it. It just kind of adds to the whole element is what it does. Okay. So I hope you all have a restful day planned for the rest of the day. I do have to make an ad for anti-anxiety meds. That I do. This is kind of big. So what I'm going to do is just kind of put it over off to the side. And then I have to upload that and submit that because it's just part of my assignment for this week. And then I'll be done. I have to do the floors. I have to finish my laundry, but you know, nothing like real like pressing. Just kind of house care type stuff. And I'm really glad I get to spend Sundays with you all. I do enjoy it. So I'm just going to put, oh, I'm really covering all that up, aren't I? I wonder if it's already stuck down. Oh, yeah, I glued it. I glued it because I was like, well, now I'm like covering up the whole thing, but that's okay. I like using my YouTube Live as part of my self-care Sunday. I'm not cooking any sourdough today, so it's not a sourdough Sunday. It was last week. I just didn't have time to feed like 10 to my starter all weekend. I think I did for like, oh, shoot. Oops. I did for like, I brought her out Thursday night. I fed her Friday to keep her nice and healthy. And then, did I feed her yesterday? I think I did. Before I left, I might have fed her yesterday. I don't remember. But then by Saturday night, after I was cleaning up the kitchen and I was getting home from like a long day and, you know, all of that fun stuff, I was like, I'm not going to be doing sourdough. So Okay, I do want to, I think, put an element like a quote or something over it, or a word, or I could get out this again and do this because these are fitting really neatly on here, but I thought that this might be fun to add because that's black. So, curious looking. Let's just do curious. Because I was like, curious looking is kind of like what they're doing. Like, hello. Okay. So, see you. Just gonna do this. R. Am I on R? IOUS. Okay. This is just a fun thing to little have in my stash. And let's bring it over to the scissors. This is like an old one. I do know that. Like, it was not very expensive. And then these are stickers on the back. And I don't use this to like label anything necessarily in the house. Because I think one of those brother ones or whatever that print out would be a little bit more efficient for that. But I'm not a big everything needs to be labeled in my home either. My daughter is a little bit, but I'm not. So I don't always take my time to label everything. Oh, I like it. Do you like yours, Melinda? I like it because it gives it like a retro, a fun retro little vibe on certain things. It's not so nice, neat and tidy. I'll just put this right on top. And of course I put too much glue because that's what I do. I'll just wipe it off. This glue dries clear, so it's not like nothing to freak my freak over. I could put curious looking. I kind of like that curious looking just because I feel like that's what they're doing. They're curiously looking. Or maybe they are having a conversation. Who knows? But I do like to do a fair amount of snark on my projects. I'm guilty. I do like to do that. And I purchased this book for that reason. Because these ladies and these little cupids and things like that, and these Valentine's characters, maybe they have sassy things to say. Maybe they have naughty things to say, and they could go on bookmarks and things like that. So that's why I got this, so I could like do my own little snarky sentiments. I like the snarky crafting. Oh, yeah. I forget a lot of stuff that I have too. That's the problem. That's why I do fun little weird projects like this sometimes, because it just makes us remember and use what we have. That's all it is. That's all this is. And once these completely dry, I'll work on this week, and I'm probably going to make a video of it. I will do the acetate over them, and then I will do the washi tape border, like frame, so it can look more like the project intended, right? What I did want to do before I leave today, though, is I wanted to get out my Society of Idea notebook, or my ideas journal. I have not really settled on a name yet, but I wanted to get it out because I'm most definitely not finished with it, but I do want to get it out and start putting a few things in there because I want to start using it for what it's intended. And I do want to get out like some fabric scissors, but this is what we did today. We created these little fun inspired slides from Somerset Studio. And we're going to make them into slides and probably put them on projects. And I have a little fun little tin next to me that I set all of my ATCs in. I got the tea at TJ Maxx, and I don't have a whole lot of them in here yet, but this is I'm new at ATCs. Like the ATC thing is new for me. Excuse me. So I just like to put my ATCs in here. And because some ATCs are created for no rhyme or reason, this will get filled up in no time. But stuff like this will probably go in here as well. We did get a lot accomplished today, huh? We got to create, chat, and enjoy each other. But here is my idea journal. And so I'm just going to probably put a few things in here. I do want to cut. Actually, I don't know if I want to. I do want to cut it, but then I want to like dangle stuff off of it at the same time. So I might just like, and here's the back of it. But I want to put not this in here because this is a project. Stuff like that will go in there really quickly. And I think I lost it. Did I lose it? Just gonna like shove stuff in here basically. I could cut this down, and because these I like to use for like that page, obviously I don't want to use. Little pictures like this and stuff I like to use, and I was like, it's a perfect opportunity to put little things from the bigger books that I have into my idea journal. Little society of ideas, I guess, is maybe what we're going with. I'm not really sure, but I don't have a big long explanation for it. So just little stuff like that will get cut up into it. And that's that. So that's just kind of how I wanted to end the stream today. Yeah, I thought it was a fun little idea too, Belinda. Because I don't need to keep every big long page because I'll keep it all. So I put this on cards. I have used, like, there's a picture of him in here. I have used him on a card. I've used him on a snarky card. I've used him on like have a good day card or happy birthday. He's the floral designer, and it's some floral design academy in New York that these books are made after. And like Better Home and Gardens or something published them. So yeah, so you get like him and why not? Right? Why not? You can create fun stuff and you can collage with it, and I don't know, whatever you want to do. Just part of my love for books as I'm hitting the camera over here too. Okay, so I just wanted to, I really like this. Could be like at the bottom of a journal. Let's see. And just little stuff like that will go in the journal, right? These are pretty little boutonnieres. He shows you how to make boutonnieres, but whatever. You could put them in a lot of different projects. So just that's kind of how I wanted to end it, because I start a lot of new projects, probably like you guys too. And then sometimes we don't go back to them and we're like, well, what did we create that for? Well, I like to periodically go back to the projects that I did create things for and put them in here. But when I do find the other sheet of paper, because I don't know where I set it, to be honest with you. I think I set it inside of something. I want to just trim it right here because I don't really want ripped pieces, but hopefully I made my pockets big enough. We'll see to slip it in here. And so we just kind of like, that's what the pockets are for in our journal, right? And I do know, I found it. I stuck it in my retro. It was just like, it's going to bother me. So stuff like this will go in here as well. And I could fold it so it kind of fits more neatly in there if that's what I want to do. But I'm probably not going to fuss with that right now. But this is what we did today. Based on the Somerset Studio magazine. I might be too close now because I tried to get closer so you guys could see what I was doing. Yay, yay, it's found. Yes. Yay, it's found, because I thought it was lost forever. I do that when I'm like in the flow of things. I kind of put things back where I think they belong, and that's not really where they go. But anyway, thank you so much for spending your Sunday with me. Thank you so much for making me part of your creative journey, and I'm glad you're a part of mine. And I would like you to follow me on social media, and we can give each other ideas. If I've inspired you to do anything today, you can post it in my community tab on YouTube. I just opened that up a few weeks ago. And don't forget to share this with a crafty friend and like the video. And if you are watching the replay, stop by and say hi. So I will see you guys very, very soon. Thank you for joining me. Bye, guys.